Eric asks, to your knowledge over the years, how close was Paul Heyman to either working for or even buying TNA or Impact at various points?
I call that bullshit.
You think?
Oh yeah, I do. Buying TNA. Thought he had WECW. What you want to do another one for? I don't know. I never heard that. I've heard his name mentioned, but I heard his name mentioned in taking over the book. Okay, take it over, Paul. See what you can do with it. I'm not against that. I'm really not. But him buying TNA, they were trying to sell it. And if he wanted to buy it, if any figure was within his reach, I think he would have bought it. I don't know what it cost him to start TNA. See, TNA, this is how it started. They had the first pay-per-view, and I've told you this story before. I just didn't tell you the second half of it. They thought they had something like 80,000 buys, which would have been a hell of a payday. They were ecstatic like 2 days later when the guy they had hired to handle the pay-per-view business, and he told them, it's looking like 80,000 buys, guys. And they went, damn, at $30 or $40 a buy?
No, it was only 10. It was the
10. Well, anyway, yeah. that was 800,000. You told me that before.
Yeah.
Right. But I had heard 30,000 too, and 40,000, but I've heard that. But that was and then they found out later, no, nowhere close to that, something like 8,000 or 7,000 maybe, a lot lower than what they'd anticipated. So, and I heard I'd worked for them a while. Then after I worked the first pay-per-view, they were supposed to do one every 2 weeks. And I got a call from Jeff Jarrett, and he said, well, he didn't exactly spell it out. He said, we've had some difficulty here, and I can't bring you in on any more of the tapings. And I said, that's okay. I had a job anyway. So, and then I kept hearing from there that they were running into money problems. And then he went to talk to Dixie Carter. Jeff did. And as it comes out, Jeff had known Dixie years before, somehow. So he went to talk to her and told her the potential, but they needed financial backing. And she listened to it. And she says, you know, my dad may be interested in, backing that, financially backing that idea of the pay-per-view company, the second one. And she says, meet me at the airport, a private airport, in the morning, and we'll fly to Dallas. That's where her dad was. And they flew to Dallas, and they had a meeting, and they emerged from the meeting with the Carters. I forgot the name of their company.
Panda Energy.
With Panda Energy owning majority interest. And I forgot what Jeff and Jerry, they had financed it earlier. I think they went down to like 15% or 10% or something. But at least they had a backer and a financial person to put up the money. And then they kind of, from going out of business, they went back into business just with different partners. So, and that changed, I think, within 3 months of starting, or I don't know. I can't remember. But
sorry, carry on.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to
give me the dates.
No. I was actually going to skip ahead quite a lot. Do you remember
go ahead.
When TNA was partially bought out by USA Network or Spike? I'm sorry.
No, I don't remember that.
Maybe that was after you were there, but I believe Spike ended up having a percentage interest in the company at one point.
I don't recall it when I was there. I was there to 2003. No. I was there in 2009.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, you started in 2003 full time to 2009.
Yep. And I don't remember Spike having any interest that they had bought in at the time. But the thing about Spike is we were told don't have any male touching a female. Nothing. And I said, well, damn. Judging what the WWF had done just a couple of years earlier, hell, they had guys power bombing women and everything else. They said, oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all. And I remember we had a girl in the ring. I think it was Karen Jarrett. And I said, you need to do something to her. Oh, God, no, you can't touch her. We'll get kicked off Spike. I went, wait a minute. All of a sudden, they're the arbiter of what we can do. And they were. They owned the network. I said, okay, we're not going to touch her.
Apparently, with Paul Heyman, that it was all at one point maybe signed, sealed, and delivered for him to come on as the lead booker and sort of just almost like wipe the slate clean, except for Dixie Carter wanted basically final creative approval on everything.
What year was this?
Good question. I don't remember. I think it was a couple of times that Heyman was said that he may be coming in, and one of the times was that Dixie wanted.
We talk about guys working the dirt sheets. Heyman was the top one. And he worked it to his advantage, of course. I don't blame him. But if he can put that out there, that makes his worth somewhere else, say with Vince, his worth goes up. Somebody else wants him. So, and if he was going to be a booker, he could have been a booker in WWE, except, one thing, he didn't really want it. He really didn't.
Well, he was at one point. He was head writer at one point, and then he got fired.
He got fired or he quit?
He got fired.
Well, okay, if he got fired, that meant that he wasn't up to the job.
No. He got fired because he was secretly tapping into other phone conversations because he was head writer for SmackDown. He was tapping into the private phone conversations on the Raw side so he could... Because basically they kept the Raw and SmackDown rosters separate, including the writing teams. So there was a bit of competition between them. So Heyman would tap in to their...
How do you mean tap in?
Conference calls. Basically, there's a code. They needed to tap in a code on their phone, and that would be the password to get into the conference call.
And he's with Raw.
He's with SmackDown. He tapped into the Raw side.
He's SmackDown.
Constantly. And then Stephanie
and what would he do? What would he do?
Well, he would find out.
What would he do with that information?
Well, I think he'd basically just write and book something in response
ahead
to
of them.
Ahead of them, basically, yeah. So that SmackDown seemed to be the
what's the old saying? All fair is love and war.
Oh yeah, especially when they're the same company. For goodness' sake, I don't see the problem.
Well, again, I would say that's a little bit of cheating. I would say so. And what he would do, he'd hear what they're going to do, and he'd beat them to the punch or try to.